For these men, this isn't just about knocking down some pins at Baltimore's Mustang alleys. They're building a bond of trust that goes far beyond bowling.
I use the big man, they easy advantage points.
The bond includes gaming.
That's a bucket. Oh, you missed it.
All are survivors of gun violence and are working together to cope and heal.
How you doing today?
Pretty good. How you doing, brother? Last night I was kind of in pain.
It's harder to get males to identify with trauma.
University of Maryland shock trauma violence prevention specialist Leonard Spain is also a survivor of gun violence. He says it's even harder to get men to see a mental health therapist. It is something we heard in a peer-to-peer healing group meeting.
People say therapist, oh man, nobody want to see no therapist. It sounds crazy. You don't, it's like not normal, you know what I'm saying? Like, we just used to it.
X-ray labs.
Emergency physician Kyle Fischer says physical wounds are tough, but psychological wounds last much longer.
Trauma and the PTSD really does tend to be at the roots of a lot of people's challenges with recovery, whether or not it's anxiety, difficulty sleeping, using alcohol or drugs. For a lot of folks, that getting to realize that I need to work on that part of myself, that really is a big key to unlocking the next step in their recovery.
That's why Christian Alfaro says being a part of this men's group is important.
Survive of a gun violence, and I have some breakdowns during the day.
The group follows a strict code: no games with violence, especially gunfire.
Get the violence out of the way, because we need to improve in life. We need to improve as human beings.
Alfaro tells us after getting shot and critically wounded, he called 911.
When the police arrived, I told them to hold my hand, and one of them did it.
Paramedics rushed him to shock trauma. Doctors put him in a medically induced coma and saved his life. He had been shot
23 times.
23 times.
Yeah, that's what the doctor said. I didn't count it. I hear a lot of shots.
Alfaro believes the hospital gave him a second chance. He's recovering, but is still racked by trauma.
At night, I have nightmares. I have dreams like I'm being in the same situation, bleeding, and I'm trying to cover all my wounds, and I even scratched myself a couple times without me knowing that I was doing it.
He says in those moments, he can get on a group chat, talk about it, get a game going, and calm down. The advice usually includes getting a glass of water.
I just drink a glass of water and I'll come back to sleep, and I'm more than relieved because I let it out. To be honest, I let it out, all the pressure, because it's like a pressure that I have it in my mind, you know.
Antonio Hunter is also in the group. He described a surreal moment in the hospital with the doctor.
You just keep your arm still like that, and as she was doing this, you heard it hit the little silver metal thing. It was like ding, 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 ding.
What did you think of that?
I was kind of amazed.
He says he thought he was okay, but realized he wasn't. The men's group offers a new way to process his pain.
Oh, you got to scream. It's a dump.
And real talk.
The first time I walked in, I just was like, it's the program I never knew I needed.
The strategy?
To get them in a place where they are at least acknowledging what happened wasn't normal.
Shock trauma surgeon Malika Harfouche tells us she has seen a lot of pain in patients that even leads to them resisting treatment. She believes the first step is showing up.
They have to go that distance and show up and take ownership of that, which is very difficult. So I think that if you can get these guys to show up to these programs and engage and take a little bit of ownership over their mental recovery, then it can make a huge difference in their lives and their recovery.
Let out feelings that I might not sit and necessarily tell you, but I know I can come here with my program and just give it all to them.
Christian, where do you think you'd be and what do you think would happen if you didn't have this group and this support?
I'll be struggling, to be honest, because without the group, I don't know what I will be, you know. It's not just playing games, it's just get your mind out of the situation that you're going through.
Alfaro says the gaming, conversations, and connections are part of his therapy, helping to settle his thoughts and bring relief. For WBAL-TV 11 News Investigates, I'm Barry Sims.